Emptiness has several different meanings, so it is very important that we consider that and that we talk about emptiness. What is emptiness? Emptiness can be understood in kind of a negative way, but also in a positive way. The highest positive purpose which emptiness can mean is the moment of no mind, when we reach the connectedness, in that moment when we calm, when our mind is still. I will come to that later. Let's first start with the negative emptiness, which most people know. Maybe some of you have experienced that in previous years, or maybe some still suffer from that. I also suffered many years from that negative emptiness. You can find videos about that also, where I talk open about my circumstances of depression, because the negative emptiness comes together with depression or with any other mental disease. But when we develop, then this negative emptiness can turn to the positive one, and so the emptiness can become a fulfillment. But as I said later, first of all, the negative emptiness, how does it happen? It happens psychologically. It happens when your life loses its purpose. Maybe some people have an external circumstance, like losing their job, losing their partner, but also some people don't have a certain circumstance. Suddenly you just lose your interest. You maybe fall in that dark night of the soul, or it's an ordinary depression. You just lose, even if you not lose your job or so, you lose your interest in everything. You are unmotivated. Life doesn't make sense anymore. But that's not all. That are just thoughts. The aspect with the emptiness can also appear in that situation, and it feels negative. It feels like you are in a hole. You don't have emotions anymore. Basically, you have negative emotions in the depression, and suddenly you don't have even an emotion anymore. You feel nothing, but you are not enlightened yet. You don't feel the bliss is missing. The connectedness is missing. Everything which you have had good experience in the meditation, there's a missing, there's a lack. You are in a hole, you are in between, you are in a negative emptiness, in the sense like sometimes it can be related to one emotion, which is a basic mood you have. For example, very often people have a sadness in that time, and this constant mood, which you have for many days or even years, is related to that hole, to that feeling of emptiness. But some feel even no emotion in that time. It can also be caused from pills, from chemical treatment. For some people which have depression, they don't have the emptiness, but suddenly they get pills, and the pills cause this emptiness as a by-effect. As you know, when you have had any medical treatment from a psychiatrist or so, you are in a depression, you are already very deep, and you don't think that there is a deeper point. And at the beginning of the treatment, it goes even more down for 1-2 weeks. So you see it goes even deeper, and then this kind of emptiness appears. But when you then ask yourself these questions, or you read some philosophy to find some answers, then you develop. This is a crisis, a life crisis. Normally people have the midlife crisis. When you have it earlier, that is a great luck actually. When you then start to read some philosophies, different ones, like me, that you don't have a certain meaning. When you just read one philosophy or one religion and think this is just the only one and this is the best, then you are entangled and you don't see the whole thing, and you will not understand it or get a bigger understanding of the whole thing. So you have to see different ones. But don't force you here, just start with one. See, when you're in a depression or when you have this negative kind of emptiness, and your concentration will also have a lag. So you can't force yourself to read so many philosophies at the same time. Just go in library and try to find something good for you which fits now. When it's next week another one, then switch. don't force yourself to stay too long at one when it doesn't fit to you. Just try, and just the amount you can read, even when it's just in these periods. Sometimes you have just so less concentration that even 1 page per day is almost too much for you. But try just 1 page per day, and after a period of time you will get another page, then you read 2 pages. But don't force yourself here. Just sometimes even a verse is enough, just the first 2 lines, and when they are good, then just read them out. I also, in my book, I added some extra verses when someone has my book, and there is a certain time where you can get it for free also. I will add the link under the information in the video description. When you don't have the time or the concentration or are in any circumstances of your life, then you just switch through the book, read some. I've read the whole Bible, the Quran, parts of Upanishads and other philosophy books, and I have taken the essence from all of them and brought them all together. And on some pages there are just 2 lines, just the first, that you have something for that day. It's similar like these calendars, so you can also go through my book like a calendar, but you can determine yourself on which day you like which verse. But besides the mental problems which can occur, there is also an emptiness, negative kind of emptiness on a social level. For example, when you have a date or you meet a person the very first time, you have a job interview, whatever, then you can be very shy, and then you start to speak and you want to hold to speak, and the other person also tries to keep speaking, that there appears not a gap. Just when you are very developed, gaps like these can't harm you anymore. You are meditating when there is any gap of speaking or thinking. But in the ordinary everyday life, it can appear, especially in a social situation, especially in a stressful social situation like in a job interview or on a date, it can appear that there are some seconds when nobody says anything, and there is this embarrassing feeling, so where both of them set themselves under pressure, say something, say something, say something, keep in flow, so that there is no, everyone tries that not this gap appears, because this is a negative emptiness most people can't bear. But you are developed, and so you are on this channel, and you know these situations, but they are past for you because you are further than most of the people. So let's talk about the good emptiness, the higher emptiness, which appears when you meditate, not just much from the amount, but also the right methods that can develop your consciousness, that can make you more open, that can lead you to the no-mind status, and at the end to the enlightenment. That means the union with God, because this no-mind status, which you have at that moment of enlightenment, when you are there, that is the true emptiness and the good emptiness, where you suddenly feel all the positive emotions like joy, like bliss, like they are all there, and they flood through you, they flow through you like a flood. They make you feeling so good, you can't feel even better. And especially because you are already so sensitive, they feel even more good. Other people don't have even a sense to feel that. They are not free. When they are non-meditators, they are blocked. And you can say with old words, chakras, they are blocked. And when they are blocked, then they can't feel. They don't have access to that higher thing, to their own higher self, and to what comes then, the enlightenment. So, but when they are blocked, they don't feel it. They don't have for them, these empty moments, they appear negative. And when they have a depression or so, this is just a sign your soul wants to develop and tries to create these gaps, but you don't have your consciousness so developed that these gaps appear normally for most of the people negative. But when you develop, these are the same gaps, but then they feel blissful because the bliss coming through you. And so how to develop that you have the positive emptiness, and that you can feel the right things, that for you it doesn't feel empty. It just from the surface, when someone is seeing you, oh, there's a sitting person sitting meditating, for them you appear boring, you appear empty. But for you, especially in the emptiness, there is such a bliss, there is such a joy, there is an inner joy, even more than any external action you can do. All actions which are available and which you can buy on this world are not so much joy which you can have in this very deep part inside of you. Just there is the true joy and bliss in that kind of emptiness. But how to reach it now? As I already said, there are two ways. And Buddha said there are two things which are important. The first thing is knowledge, the other thing is meditation. So Buddha was not just about meditation, he also had a knowledge. He was knowing the philosophy behind. So, and he was also then later teaching about that. But first of all, he had lots of knowledge. And so this is why I say, when you first are in the depression, or even if you are not there and just interested, you get some knowledge from the philosophy. Even if you are you're not about reading, okay, then take some philosophy from YouTube. There are so many channels. You can learn so much. Just type the words essence of philosophy. So there are lots of people which will tell you the essence, what's so special on these philosophies. What is the essence, what we can learn for our life? Not just, there are also some surface philosophies like political philosophy or so, but I don't mean that. I mean the deeper ones, the more mystical ones. Read them or watch them, whatever you like, and develop on that. First of all, it's good for the mind to focus, that the mind goes in the right direction, but also when we come to the higher mind, to the higher self, also our old mind is still on the way to that and still included in all that process. So it's very good to focus it with philosophy and psychology, all these things which you can learn. But look what's good for you, what feels fine, what feels right. It should also be joy for you and of interest. Just take not any philosophy just to have it. So look what's about your interest. Just look on a video where someone explains several philosophers, and then decide one, and then go to library and get some more stuff of them also. Just do whatever you like. And on the other hand, meditation is very good, so that you can, that what you learn it just for knowledge, but also you develop, and there is a deeper soul part which wants to develop, which wants to connect, which wants to connect to the higher self, because then you have the knowledge, then you want it, and then you start to meditate, and then you need a more transcendental meditation. There is a kind of transcendental meditation because they go deeper, or for example Vipassana meditation. There are some meditations which go deeper, which are just not on the surface. You cannot take any meditation. This is you have to be careful here with YouTube channels and so, because just have any meditation, for example a sleeping meditation, doesn't make sense, because we are here on this channel for awakening and not for sleeping. So you can't take any meditation, you have to take higher meditations. If you want some more about that, let me know. I can also tell some higher meditation styles. You have any other argument, let me know also down below in the comments. Have a nice day, see you soon, bye.